Should we talk about the state of Bloodhunt, like today? This is what? The start of August in 2023. The game is absolutely playable. Like, if you want to log on and just have a little bit of fun, you can absolutely do so. I would personally recommend sticking to either solos or duos, just because those are the bot-enabled modes, and you're gonna get queue times which are gonna be less than 2.5 minutes, basically. Outside that, we do also have trios, which does have bots enabled, but it's on a much longer timer, and it's around 8 minutes, I think, before you actually find a match, or potentially up to 8 minutes, depending on when you're playing. If you play on peak times, obviously this is going to be a lot shorter. If you play outside peak times, like I do most of the time, then you'll probably be hitting the maximums most of the time. If you're not too much in a rush, then it's probably fine. Outside of that, there are a lot of bots. This is definitely something to keep in mind if you are thinking of playing. There are a lot of bots. I would estimate that outside of peak time... Oh, come on. Outside of peak time, you're probably getting somewhere between 3 and 5, like, human enemies per match. Something like that. Obviously, that's an estimate. Oh, no, don't do it. It definitely feels like there's a lot of bots. Like, I have fought one human player so far. The rest of these have all just been bots running around. If you're a lesser skilled player, if you're like average or maybe below average, you probably wouldn't even notice. Probably wouldn't even notice that there are this many bots. It's definitely a thing where the higher skilled players will probably get bored fairly quickly. And in that case, I would probably suggest you try and stick to trios, which is going to be mainly PvP with a few bots added in. But then bear in mind that your queue times might be a little bit longer. One thing I have also managed to do, if you've got a bunch of friends who are available to play at the same time, in TDM, there are 0 bots. None whatsoever. Now, this does 2 things. One, it means you get no guaranteed queue time. You could be queuing for hours, you could be queuing for 30 seconds, you have no idea. I have not many hit points, and this guy has a freaking grenade launcher, dude. The other thing that it does, though, on the bright side, it allows you to go in and only face players. Now, from my recent games in TDM, which I actually have a couple of videos up, I think, you will notice, or you'll probably notice, that the players who are playing TDM are not very good. Where have you gone? They're fairly new. They're not, like, veteran players or anything. So bear that in mind. Again, if you're trying to look for a challenge, like, TDM probably isn't going to give you that huge challenge. It will definitely help you warm up, but it's not going to be the sweaty Bloodhunt we used to know back in early access. There's an invisible dude over here. I think this is the guy with the grenade launcher, perhaps. Where the hell is he? I hate this. There we go. Nice. Got him. So there's the grenade launcher. This guy has probably used up all the bullets, huh? Grenade launcher. Yeah, he's used up all the bullets. I would have been surprised if he hadn't. You don't want to be leaving that on the table for someone else. That's one of the brand new weapons, by the way. So the game is currently still receiving some new content. It is content which has previously been worked on. So it's not technically new, but it's stuff that the dev team had worked on. And because in game development, you're always working something like 4 to 6 months ahead. Obviously, from the moment when they said, okay, well, like, it's not working out, we have to stop development, but we're keeping the servers open. From that point, they still have like 4 to 6 months of potential content to hand out, you know? If that makes sense. Come back here. So that's why we're still seeing new weapons, that's why we're still seeing new TDM maps, that's why we're still seeing new artifacts. There's more artifacts to come yet, so it's not completely over just yet. And when you start looking at the actual player base, because this was one of the big things that you need to remember when they said they're stopping development, but keeping the servers open. They said they'd keep the servers open as long as they had like an active player base. What exactly makes up an active player base? They might have a physical number in their mind. They might have a bracket and saying, okay, if we go underneath this bracket for a month or 2 months straight, then potentially that. There are some theories going around, and these are theories, not confirmed, that at the end of October this year, the Sony exclusivity contract ends. There are presumptions that that could also mark the end of... It could also mark the end of the actual servers, because at that point, they would theoretically not have any obligations anymore. And at that point, if they have no obligations, they have no real thing forcing them to keep the servers open while they lose money effectively. Because at the end of the day, keeping servers open, keeping maintenance up, keeping a customer support open, because their support team is still open, they will still be dealing with cheaters. They are still dealing with potential bugs. I presume it's probably just like any major ones. It's just upkeeping the game. They're not making the game better. They're not making new stuff. I presume the bug related stuff is probably more going to be server side than anything else. So if something, for example, the Vandal Slam that doesn't quite work sometimes, don't expect that one to be fixed within, you know, the next couple of weeks. Like, don't expect anything. Oh. I'm stuck, dude. Actually stuck. I don't know what I got stuck on, but I was trying to exit that situation and I really could not exit the situation. We've still got at least one player here. Is that him? Yeah, that's him. 48 damage. Oh, no. Okay, is this guy gonna crawl out? Potentially. Probably not, but it's not my kill. I don't need to spend time wasting trying to finish him off. Have you ever experienced players teaming in solos? Not really, but then again, like, I play mostly outside of peak times. Just, like, that's where it happens to kind of line up for me. And, yeah, I think the worst I've really had has been stream sniping, really. And even then, it's people who are looking for attention rather than people who are looking to necessarily, like, make my games miserable. This is why I had to turn clipping off as well on the channel. Or I say turn it off, it's still available for subscribers. I like this shotgun. But yeah, again, like, if you do get people who are teaming and physically ruining games, you can report them. The customer support thing is still open. They are still dealing with that sort of thing. So by all means, like, contact them, sending reports, do the regular. It still works. They are still there. It's just, like, don't expect too many brand new weapons because, well, once they run out of the stuff they had originally planned, well, that's it, basically. And going off the player base, this is something I wanted to cover. The player base that has been playing Bloodhunt, the diehard fans of Bloodhunt, have been very, very, very consistent. Like, the numbers haven't really been dropping off. Like, we are a very small player base, don't get me wrong. But the players that have been playing the game are still playing the game. Like, I'm still returning to the game. The other people, like the other content creators who make Bloodhunt content are still returning to the game. If we ignore the whole Sony contract thing, which, again, rumors, not confirmed info, if we ignore that and solely base it off potential player base numbers, then the game could still potentially be going for quite some time. How many hit points do these guys have? Oh my god. Okay, I think I just picked up 3 kills there. Grab one of these. We're being chased as well from the back. I actually want to try and get involved with these before these guys kill each other. Just for that reason right there, because we've just picked up 2 kills instead of missing out on everything. Okay, we've missed out on one. Although we could still pick it up. Okay, that's a bot. That's fine. Take a small detour here real quick. Just so we can pop one of them. I can't see what I'm shooting. Okay. What we're on? We're on 19. We get a quick dive in. Nice. Probably didn't actually need that. There we go. Just trying to finish him off quick, just so he can respawn if he had an extra life. Pretty upset to hear it, but still love Bloodhunt regardless. Yeah, a lot of people do. So here's the thing. The diehard fans of Bloodhunt will kind of still be playing because they enjoy the game. And while, yeah, it's unfortunate to hear the development is stopping, we're just enjoying it while it lasts. And this is the one thing I've been saying to many other people. Like, enjoy it while it lasts. While you can. Because at some point, it will be turned off. And at that point, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to be sad because you didn't play it and now you can't? Or are you going to be like, okay, well, this is unfortunate, but at least I played the game while I could? You know? That's my one bit of advice. Just play it while you can. If you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, by all means, like, screw it. Move on to something else. Like, I've been definitely moving on to other pieces of content myself as a content creator, but I mean, that's more of a business decision kind of thing than anything else. Because at some point, I need to look at the reality of things, which is Bloodhunt will, at some point, die. At some point, they are going to turn servers off, and that will be the end of that. So any content, any time I spend creating Bloodhunt content is all, from one point of view, time wasted. Because this won't be growing my channel, it won't be growing my business. And at the end of the day, the more time I spend here, the less time I'm spending in something that could be making my business grow, and it could be increasing the amount of viewers I get. So while it's unfortunate, I obviously need to think about the future of my channel. And this is why I've been mostly focusing on Overwatch recently, just because, like, one, I enjoy Overwatch, right? I want to be doing something I'm enjoying. If I'm not enjoying it, then I feel like, one, you guys are obviously going to notice that, oh, he's not actually enjoying this. Like, why is he still playing it? And then on the other hand, there's like, well, what's the point? Like, the whole point of getting into content creation was because it's an amazing job. So yeah, that's basically the state of Bloodhunt today. Definitely 100% playable, enjoyable, but bear in mind that it's not going to last forever. As interest drops off for Bloodhunt, so does interest in my Bloodhunt content. If you want to help support me as I move my content into a new direction, then consider subscribing to my Patreon. I offer a variety of tiers, each with their exclusive benefits, and by going through Patreon, a much larger percentage of your support reaches me, so join these awesome people and check out my Patreon with the link in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.